There comes a moment in every man's journey when he realizes that the greatest battles he fights are not out in the world, but within himself. A man can conquer countries, make money, impress people, and still feel empty inside if he cannot govern his impulses. And among all the impulses that drain a man of his strength, clarity, and purpose, none does more damage than the chronic waste of his own seed. This is the truth many men avoid. Your seed is not just a fluid. It is your life force, your drive, your inner fire, your creative electricity. When you waste it carelessly, the world becomes heavier, your path becomes harder, your mind becomes foggy, and your energy becomes scattered. But when you protect it, when you rise above your urges and master your domain, life starts aligning. Things make sense. Challenges become solvable. The world responds to you differently. Life gets easier when you stop wasting your seed, not because the world changes, but because you do. Your discipline rises, your focus sharpens, your presence deepens, and the universe begins rewarding you for finally choosing to live as a man instead of a slave to pleasure. This is the hidden blessing so many discover only after they decide to retain. The moment you stop spilling your power, the world stops draining you. Let's break down exactly why. A man who wastes his seed frequently is never truly present. His mind is scattered, his desires are scattered, and his energy is scattered. He is constantly chasing stimulation, new videos, new images, new fantasies, new sensations. His nervous system becomes a chaotic mess, always seeking the next dopamine hit. This leads to difficulty focusing, low willpower, restlessness, mental fog, anxiety and irritability, a feeling of being behind in life. When you retain, something profound happens. Your nervous system stabilizes. The constant seeking disappears. You stop craving artificial highs. You stop chasing ghost pleasures that give nothing back. Your attention gathers itself into one direction, into the present moment, into what matters. Suddenly, things that used to overwhelm you, responsibilities, conversations, goals, feel manageable. You no longer waste mental bandwidth fighting urges. You reclaim the bandwidth that porn and ejaculation stole from you. Your mind becomes still enough to actually think clearly. Life doesn't get easier because responsibilities disappear. Life gets easier because your mind becomes disciplined enough to handle them. Most modern men have learned to pretend. They puff their chest, talk loudly, and act bold, but inwardly they know the truth. Their willpower is weak. Their habits control them more than they control their habits. Their confidence is costume deep. But semen retention forces you to meet yourself. There is nowhere to hide from your tendencies, nowhere to run from your inner demons. Every day you practice retention, you prove something to yourself. I control my body. My body doesn't control me. Real confidence is born right there. Not from motivational speeches, not from gym selfies, not from expensive clothes or forced bravado. Real confidence is a byproduct of self-mastery. When you stop wasting your seed, you stop leaking the very energy that produces confidence. You walk differently. You speak differently. People feel a deeper presence emanating from you. You don't need approval because you're no longer dependent on external validation to soothe the emptiness that chronic ejaculation created. You become a man with his energy rooted, not a man constantly trying to refill what he leaked out last night. The body is intelligent. It understands priorities. When you waste your seed too often, the body has to constantly divert resources to rebuild what you've lost. This leaves less energy for other systems, less energy for your immune system, less energy for mental clarity, less energy for emotional balance, less energy for muscle growth and recovery, less energy for long-term vitality. Retention is not magic. It's biology respecting balance. When you retain, the body no longer has to rebuild life force at an unnatural pace. It can finally prioritize healing, strength, and vitality. Men on retention often report stronger workouts, faster recovery, better skin, improved posture, more stable emotions, increased stamina, enhanced breathing and calmness. Your body stops being burdened. It stops fighting the internal war between your urges and your health. Life gets easier because your biology stops feeling drained and depleted. Ejaculation fogs a man's judgment. It weakens his discernment. A man overflowing with sexual temptations is easily manipulated. He makes decisions based on lust, impulse, and momentary pleasure, not wisdom. This leads to regrettable relationships, lost opportunities, poor financial decisions, inconsistent goals, weak boundaries, lack of purpose. Retention flips everything. The same energy that once fueled addiction and impulsive behavior begins fueling logic, focus, patience, vision, discipline, long-term thinking. You begin making decisions as a man who can see the full picture, not as a boy chasing the next high. Life gets easier because your decisions become aligned with your future, not your urges. You stop sabotaging yourself. You operate with clarity and courage instead of insecurity and compulsion. Most men underestimate how deeply ejaculation affects their emotional state. When you waste your seed, you create a roller coaster within. Dopamine spikes. Dopamine crashes. Guilt, anxiety, shame, irritability, emotional softness. Retention stabilizes the hormonal and neurochemical fluctuations. Mood swings disappear. You become less reactive and more composed. Things that used to trigger you no longer bother you. Your patience grows. Your emotional endurance grows. You become the calm, grounded man your younger self always wished he could be. And with emotional stability comes something even greater: respect from others and from yourself. When people can feel your emotional solidity, life naturally becomes easier. You get less drama, fewer conflicts, more cooperation, and more respect. Retention rewires a man's priorities. When your seed is no longer something you waste unconsciously, you begin guarding everything else in your life with the same seriousness. Your time, your attention, your commitments, your boundaries, your sleep, your habits, your goals. You stop tolerating nonsense. You stop giving energy to people who drain you. You stop engaging in activities that lower your vibration. Retention is the first domino that triggers a full life transformation. Because once you learn to master your sexual energy, you cannot unsee how valuable your energy truly is. Life gets easier because you stop choosing difficulty. You stop complicating your path with distractions. You start moving with intention. The world rewards men who value their time, and retention makes you become one of those men. There's a reason ancient cultures believe sexual energy is magnetic energy. Your seed is not merely biological. It emits a subtle vitality, an aura, a presence. When you retain, your charisma heightens. Eye contact becomes stronger. Your voice becomes firmer. Your posture improves. Your skin glows. Your energy radiates confidence. Women can feel it. Men can sense it. Opportunities notice it. You don't have to chase validation because your presence naturally commands respect and attraction. Life gets easier because people respond to you with more openness, trust, and admiration. You stop feeling invisible. Retention gives you a subtle magnetism that cannot be faked. Your purpose moves to the center of your life. Every man was built for mission. Deep down, men crave purpose, something worthy of their strength, discipline, and potential. But pornography and constant ejaculation hijack that instinct. Instead of chasing purpose, men chase pleasure. Instead of creating, they consume. When you stop wasting your seed, purpose returns. Your mind becomes hungry for meaning. Your spirit becomes restless for growth. Your heart yearns for a path greater than momentary gratification. Your energy seeks expression in achievements, not fantasies. You start building things, learning harder, training consistently, planning your future, improving your environment, deepening your character. Life gets easier because you stop living in confusion. You finally know what matters, and your energy goes exactly there. Retention brings a man back to his true nature, a builder, a creator, a leader. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is having the power to not do what weakens you. A man who cannot control his urges is not free. He is enslaved to patterns that destroy him quietly. Semen retention is one of the purest forms of self-liberation because it strikes at the root of the addiction that weakens the modern man. When you stop wasting your seed, you rise above your impulses. You experience what many never taste in life: Self-rule. Life gets easier because you stop fighting yourself. You stop waging an internal civil war between who you want to be and what your urges want you to do. You become internally aligned. Spirit and body move in the same direction. This is the foundation of masculine peace. The universe responds to a disciplined man. Some men think they are unlucky. Some think life is unfair. Some think the world is against them. But the truth is simpler. Life rewards the man who takes his power seriously. When retention becomes your lifestyle, you emit a different vibration, one of discipline, clarity, purpose, and strength. And the universe responds with matching opportunities. Better people entering your life. Better ideas. More synchronicities. Clearer intuition. Improved timing. Faster progress. Less resistance. This isn't superstition, it's alignment. When your energy is no longer leaking out of you, the world stops leaking opportunities away from you. Life gets easier because you finally move with universal flow instead of against it. The path of retention is the path of power. The moment you stop wasting your seed is the moment your true life begins. You stop operating from weakness and start operating from strength. You stop living in confusion and start living with clarity. You stop being led by your cravings and start being guided by your purpose. Retention does not just make you more disciplined. It makes life more cooperative. You become a man the world takes seriously. A man people respect. A man who respects himself. A man who looks in the mirror and sees strength instead of regret. When you stop wasting your seed, life doesn't magically transform overnight, but you transform, and that changes everything. Life gets easier because you finally stop making it harder for yourself. Protect your seed. Protect your energy. Protect your path. Your future self will thank you for the man you become. Please thank you for watching. Subscribe to this YouTube channel.